Elara, a perpetually exhausted woman, stared blankly at her thyroid lab results. The complex medical jargon blurred before her eyes. She knew something was profoundly wrong. The crushing fatigue, the inexplicable weight gain, the constant brain fog, it all pointed to a thyroid issue. However, in her weary state, she misinterpreted the numbers. A quick scan of the reference ranges, a glance at the bolded figures, and a sinking feeling solidified into a conviction. She convinced herself she was hyperthyroid. Her mind, already clouded by exhaustion, latched onto this idea. She began researching extreme diets to slow her metabolism. Online forums became her new obsession, a rabbit hole of anecdotal evidence. Each post, each comment seemed to validate her self-diagnosis. She devoured articles about calorie restriction and metabolic slowdown. Her desperate need for answers, coupled with the overwhelming information, led her down a path of increasingly restrictive eating. She cut out entire food groups, convinced she was starving her overactive thyroid. The anxiety, already a constant companion, began to spiral. Every meal became a source of dread, every morsel scrutinized. This self-imposed regimen, far from helping, only exacerbated her already fragile health. Her body, already struggling, was now under siege from within. The fatigue deepened, becoming a heavy cloak she couldn't shed. The brain fog thickened, making even simple tasks feel monumental. Her weight, stubbornly, continued to climb, defying her efforts. She felt a growing frustration, a simmering resentment, believing she was doing everything right, following every expert tip, yet her symptoms only worsened. This deepening despair became a constant companion. Elara was trapped in a cycle of misunderstanding and worsening health. The numbers on the lab report, once a beacon, now mocked her. Each day brought new lows, new layers of exhaustion. Her reflection showed a woman she barely recognized. The vibrant spirit she once possessed was fading. She spent hours scrolling through forums, seeking reassurance. But each story, each suggestion, only added to her confusion. The internet, a supposed source of knowledge, had become a labyrinth. Her self-diagnosis, born of desperation, was now a heavy burden. She felt isolated, misunderstood, and utterly alone in her struggle. The hope she once held for recovery was dimming. Her body felt like a foreign entity, betraying her at every turn. Sleep offered no respite, only more exhaustion. The simplest tasks, like getting out of bed, required immense effort. She yearned for clarity, for a definitive answer, but the path she had chosen led only to more questions. Her frustration mounted with each passing day. The mirror reflected a tired, defeated gaze. She was losing herself, piece by agonizing piece. The medical jargon, once blurry, now felt like a cruel joke. Her efforts to heal were inadvertently causing more harm. A silent scream echoed within her, unheard by anyone. She desperately needed a way out of this self-imposed prison. Her health continued its downward trajectory. The future seemed bleak, shrouded in a perpetual fog. She was adrift, without a compass, in a sea of misinformation. The weight of her misconception pressed down on her, every symptom amplified, every hope diminished. Elara was at her breaking point, silently pleading for a solution. Her body and mind were screaming for help. Yet, she remained convinced of her hyperthyroid plight, a tragic misunderstanding. Fueling her suffering, her despair deepened, a heavy, suffocating blanket. The deepening despair and worsening symptoms finally pushed Elara to a critical decision. She needed real answers, not just more internet theories. Desperate for clarity, Elara finally sought a second opinion from an endocrinologist, Dr. Elara. The doctor's office was quiet, a stark contrast to the chaotic online forums Elara had frequented. Dr. Elara, a woman with kind eyes and a firm, reassuring presence, greeted Elara warmly. Elara, clutching her crumpled lab results, felt a flicker of hope. With a kind but firm demeanor, Dr. Elara patiently walked Elara through her lab results. She didn't rush, taking the time to explain each complex term. The doctor highlighted the critical differences between hypothyroid and hyperthyroid markers. She pointed to Elara's elevated TSH, a clear indicator. "See here, Elara," Dr. Elara explained, tracing a finger across the page. "Your TSH is quite high, which means your pituitary gland is working overtime. It's trying to tell your thyroid to produce more hormone." Elara listened intently, a knot of anxiety beginning to loosen. "And your free T4," Dr. Elara continued, "is on the lower end of the normal range. This combination," she emphasized, "clearly indicates hypothyroidism, not hyperthyroidism." The words hung in the air, a revelation. Hypothyroidism, not the hyperthyroidism Elara had mistakenly self-diagnosed. All her extreme diets, her attempts to slow her metabolism, had been utterly misguided. A flush of embarrassment warmed her cheeks, quickly followed by immense relief. Dr. Eris sensed Elara's emotional shift. "It's a common misconception, Elara," she said gently. "Many people confuse the symptoms, especially with so much information online." The doctor then shifted to a more positive note. She provided a clear, actionable treatment plan tailored specifically for Elara. "We'll start you on a low dose of thyroid hormone replacement medication," Dr. Eris explained. "This will help bring your TSH and T4 levels back into balance." She also offered practical dietary recommendations. Focus on nutrient-dense foods, lean proteins, and healthy fats, and will monitor your progress closely. The doctor's words were a balm to Elara's frayed nerves. No more restrictive eating, no more frantic online searches, just a clear medical path forward. A wave of relief washed over Elara as the confusion lifted. It was like a heavy fog dissipating, revealing a clear sky, replaced by a newfound understanding and hope for recovery. She finally saw a clear path to managing her health effectively. The weight of self-doubt and frustration began to lift. Elara felt a lightness she hadn't experienced in months. She left Dr. Eris's office with a prescription, a dietary pamphlet, and a sense of profound gratitude. The journey ahead wouldn't be instant, but it was finally the right one. For the first time in a long time, Elara felt truly hopeful. The exhaustion still lingered, but now it was accompanied by a plan. The brain fog hadn't vanished, but the path to clarity was visible. She knew she had a doctor who understood, who could guide her. This wasn't just a diagnosis. It was a beginning of healing, of understanding her own body. Elara looked forward to the day when her energy would return, when the weight would stabilize, and her mind would clear. The misconception had been a painful detour, but now, armed with accurate information and professional guidance, Elara was ready to reclaim her health. The journey back to wellness had truly begun, and this time, it was built on truth, not assumption. She imagined the day she would wake up feeling refreshed, not drained. A day where her thoughts were sharp, her body responsive. This new understanding was a powerful antidote to her previous despair. Elara felt a renewed sense of agency over her own well-being. The path was clear, and she was ready to walk it. Hope, bright and unwavering, illuminated her way forward.